Hello everyone! Welcome to my new video. I'm saying that this is new video, but I have a feeling this video is not new. And the reason for that is that a month ago I created animation called Artist versus Public Transport, and I didn't post how I was creating it. So I have my old footage of process of creating this animation, and I want to show you how I created it. So here is my process of creating animation, starting from raw sketches, then line art, and then colored version of this animation. And also, as always, you'll see how I creating this in Procreate Dreams. I don't have the full process of creating it since I spent many hours on creating animation. This is why you will see only some parts of how I'm creating this animation. What can I say about this animation? If you are a regular viewer of mine, you already know that I like to make animations, and that sometimes I paint animation based on different fandoms, or sometimes I draw animation based on my life. This animation is based on my life. For many years when I studied at university, I was using public transport a lot. And by public transport I mean mostly trains and metro. My university was far from home, and if I would go from home to university, I would spend around 4 hours to get to the university. Sometimes I traveled from home to university, sometimes but also I lived in a, I don't know how to translate it, hostel, or I heard the term college dorm. I'm sorry, I'm not a native English speaker, I'm not sure what I'm saying. The place where you live near your university. So I think it is called college dorm. Yeah, but I was traveling all the time. I was going to hometown, going to university town, going to Moscow because I wanted to visit exhibitions or to spend time with friends, or go to cinema, or do something else, walk around Moscow. So yeah, I was traveling all the time. I started studying in university at 2012 and I graduated in 2018. So for 6 years I was using trains all the time. And of course, I have many funny stories about trains, about public transport, and especially when you are an artist and if you paint on the big canvases. I was traveling with huge canvases, and the size of these canvases were something around 70 to 90 centimeters. One time it was 100 on 120 centimeters, but often I was also traveling with 50 by 70 centimeters. I was often traveling with canvases, plus I was traveling with my drawings. I had my pencil drawings from drawing classes, and since I'm someone who lives in a place where weather is changing all the time, I had funny and strange stories when trains were delayed, when everything would be frozen, and I had sometimes problems when trains were, broken, and because of the ice, and we were waiting when, sorry, I don't know how to translate it. This thing was frozen with ice, and I had these times when I was waiting when workers would clean this from ice. Also, for someone who lived in a small town and then going to Moscow to this public transport where there is a lot of crowds and everything moving really fast, it was very strange experience when I was there at first, but then I adapted somehow. And there were times when I've heard stories when people broke their legs because someone stepped on their leg, because someone stepped on their foot in metro, and it was very crowded. I personally never had this experience. And sometimes I had these problems when after my studying I would go back to the hostel, and I would have some awkward situations, like I would carry my oil painting, and this oil painting was not fully dried, and I would need somehow maneuver with this painting in a train or in a bus, so I would not ruin my painting and would not accidentally smudge my painting all over of people who were also on the bus or on a train. I also had these problems when I would then after my university classes I would want to go to Moscow to exhibition. I would travel there, and the security checking everyone's bags, trying to find if they carrying something illegal, and I would forget that I would have my knife with me. And no, I'm not some psycho who's using knife. I always use this knife to I'm an artist who has pencils and who's drawing all the time. I need my pencils to be sharp. This is why I would forget to take off my knife, and all of a sudden I'm going to the exhibition. They would look at my backpack and see a knife, and they will be like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oops, forgot about that." When you are an artist and you want to build a canvas, and you would somehow forget to take a hammer out of your backpack. And this is also suspicious, because why the hell are you carrying a hammer? So I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not someone who is good at building canvases. I'm not very good at building canvases, and I would not do it often. I prefer to buy canvases than making my own canvases, since if you want to have a perfect canvas, you need to be very precise in it, and I'm neither of these things, so I usually buy canvases. So yeah, as I said before, public transport is fun. Especially when you are an artist. And as always, I want to talk about my art projects. In the recent days, I didn't do anything at all. I did not paint. I was editing my videos, and I'm someone who has many art projects, and I'm always and from time to time I remember that I forgot about something. For example, I just realized that I forgot to post videos to YouTube for a month probably, and that's what I've been doing. I was editing my YouTube videos and posting it on YouTube. Because I posted many videos on YouTube and forgot to post on YouTube. And since I'm someone who's thinking like, maybe I would have monetization at YouTube, because to get monetization on YouTube is much more realistic than it's to get on YouTube. So of course I remembered on my YouTube and started posting videos there. And I have some ideas for new animations, something like I wanted to make fun about new Snow White movie. Well, it's not already so new, but I'm thinking like it seems a little too late for this, because I don't think there is still hype about this movie. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, but my idea is not so bad. And since you know that I purchased animations both in English and Russian, you maybe noticed too that sometimes my animations perform well either on English or on Russian, and it's always a surprise for me. I never know which countries would be interested in my animation, because sometimes I draw and I think this animation would be definitely popular in among English-speaking viewers, and then all of a sudden English-speaking viewers not interested in this animation, and Russian-speaking viewers are interested in the animation. I'm like, how does it work? It doesn't make any sense. YouTube, I have no idea how you work. And this year, I'm not participating at a festival of my hometown, birthday of my hometown. There have been a few years when I was participating in it, but in this year, I decided that I don't want to participate in this. So yeah, if we would talk about my projects, I have zero footage with my art projects. Since I didn't paint anything, I was resting from painting. I have to make a sculpture. I was talking about this in my previous videos. And I want to be honest that in recent days, I don't really want to paint. Maybe because I don't have these ideas, like very good ideas, when I'm passionate about it, when I want to create. And I've been saying that I have ideas for my animations, and I have around 13 ideas for animations, but none of them is brilliant. They're like okay, but not brilliant. And I'm someone who's, it's very difficult to make myself do when I realize that my idea is not very entertaining and more boring than entertaining. And I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea, but at the same time, is this perfect idea? I'm like, ugh. I don't know if I'm the only one who had this problem. When I don't have ideas, I start consuming more content. I would watch paintings of other artists. I would watch, I don't know, shows, TV shows, maybe read a book, even though I don't read books often. TV series, anything that would give me somehow idea and would somehow make my brain work. I know in feeling when you sitting there and thinking like, I need a good idea, and you're sitting there with your empty sketchbook or with your empty notebook, and you want to write down something, and there is just nothing, and you're sitting there for minutes, and like there's huge error in your head, and there is boredom. I hate when that happens. Some people say these terms like, I have an art block. I don't like the term art block. I like to call it ideas constipation. That's how I like to call it. I don't know if this is the correct term, but that's how I would describe this. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to hear more complaints from me. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in next videos. Bye.